Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Welcome to the Sideline Showcase. I'm your host, Dom, and today we are going to be going over the Micah Parsons trade to the Green Bay Packers. First things first, I'm back, and I'm here to stay. We're doing things a little different this year. We'll get into that in the end of the video. However, I came back earlier than expected. I've been planning my content, and then this happens. I'm like, I gotta make a video on this, right? Who doesn't make a video when your favorite team makes a huge move like this? So let's get into it. So first things first, Micah Parsons has been dealing with contract issues. He's been asking to be traded by the Cowboys organization for the last month or so because he wanted a new deal. He asked for a new deal last year. He did not get it. He could have got about $35 million a year last year, but Jerry Jones did not give it to him. And then he took down a bunch of Cowboys stuff on his social media, asked for a trade or to be paid, and Jerry Jones went through with a trade and traded him to the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are getting a guy who's going to produce about 15 sacks a year and completely monumentally change a defense. So I saw something from Peter Bukowski tonight, and it said that the Cowboys defense when Micah Parsons was on the field was first in EPA per play. When he's off, it's a bottom 5 defense. These are the kind of deals you got to get done when they are presented to you. And since Mark Murphy has gone off in the sunset and retired, Ed Policy has taken over, and clearly he wants to get some stuff done, and that is exactly what he's done. He has acquired Micah Parsons, and this dude is generational. He is going to make huge differences for this defense. We struggled with a lot of pass rush last year. We were not getting pressure on the quarterback as much, and that caused a lot of issues in the secondary. So the Packers' sack numbers weren't that bad last year. Parsons is going to bring 15 more sacks to the team, and if they added 15 sacks to what they had last year, which was 45, that would have brought them up to 60, and that would have put us second in the NFL. However, the Packers' pressures were very low last year, about middle of the league. Could have been a lot better, but with a guy like Micah Parsons, you're going to bring so much more pressure to opposing teams, and I think this is going to make a huge difference. They weren't great with hurries against the quarterback, and their QB knockdown percentage wasn't great either. So bringing on a guy like this to pair with Rashan and Lucas Van Ness around the edge is going to make a huge difference. So let's get into the details of the trade. So the Packers are acquiring Micah Parsons, and they are giving him a 4-year, $188 million contract, which equates out to $47 million a year. That is the most money that an edge rusher has ever received. It is $6 million per year more than what TJ Watt is receiving. Mike Parsons is 26 years old, and his contract should go until he's about 30. The Packers gave up 2 first-rounders, which, as a Packer fan, we know Gutekunst hasn't been exactly great with. So he's been better in the second round. So getting rid of 2 firsts is really not as big as you think compared to these other teams, especially when you could get a guy like Micah Parsons. They gave up Kenny Clark, who is going to be 30 in October. He has been an awesome player for this Packers defense, but the team is young, and it seems like they want to get younger by getting Micah Parsons and moving from Kenny Clark. We got Devontae Wyatt. That's going to be our main defensive tackle now. Carl Brooks has looked very good the last couple of years since he's been drafted, so he will slot into that number 2. We have Warren Brinson, and we have Nazir Stackhouse, who is our UDFA this year that we have kept on the 53-man roster. So we have the depth at D tackle to get rid of Kenny Clark, get younger, and then add a guy like Micah Parsons to the edge. So first things first, we'll get it out of the way. What does this mean for Dallas? I think they're just getting rid of him because Jerry Jones didn't want to pay that big of a contract. Their defense has become so much worse now. Like I said earlier, without him on the field, they were a bottom 5 defense, and it's very possible it stays like that. But with guys like Donovan Ezeraku, who they did draft this year, maybe they got enough confidence in him to provide somewhat of what Parsons can provide, because you can't match that kind of production. So finally, the most important piece of this, what does this mean for the Packers? And what I think it means for the Packers is, obviously, like I said, we're getting younger. We're putting a lot of money onto the books, though, because Kenny Clark is going to take about $35 million worth of dead cap, unfortunately. But, Packers are very good at working around those kinds of things, so they'll make it work. We're going to see a huge jump in defensive production. since we're going to get a lot more off the defensive line and hopefully make the quarterback work a little bit more than they typically have forced the quarterback to work. Should put a lot of less stress on our secondary, considering our corners aren't the strongest this year. Yes, without Jair Alexander last year, they still ended up ranking 13th in pass defense. Then we got the addition of Nate Hobbs, who is going to fill into the slot corner role for us. But this moves Green Bay into Super Bowl contention. If Matthew Golden could be the kind of guy we need, and the Packers offense plays well, I have full confidence that the Packers defense is going to be just fine and is going to be top 5 in the league because of Micah Parsons and what that defensive line is going to be able to do. And then guys like Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker over the middle with Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney helping over top. I just don't think there's a way that this team doesn't possibly contend for the division and even the conference. So Packers have not made a huge trade like this since Charles Woodson or Reggie White. So this is huge news in Packerland, and I can't believe it got done. We've heard rumors the last couple of days, but it was hard to believe, but it got done. And the Packers are instantly in Super Bowl contention. So that's going to do it for me, folks. After I run this outro, I will give a little rundown about how we're going to be doing this over the next couple of weeks and months. So, Packers trade for Micah Parsons, game-changing blockbuster trade in the NFL season, right before the season gets started here. So, I'm in shock, and Packers are going to make a serious run this year. So, that's going to be it from me. See you guys in the next one where I give out my predictions for the NFL season. Stay tuned for that. Go Pack, go, and thank you for watching.